So imagine this, you're at a party and someone walks in, and suddenly you know what they're thinking. Wow, that person is really good looking, and you can hear all the women in the room thinking the same thing. Maybe it's flattering, but it's also kind of embarrassing. What if your zipper was down? Would you want everyone to know? How about when you go to the bathroom? Do you want people hearing your business? Or worse, what if you accidentally thought something offensive about one of them? Oops. In order for telepathy to work like that, we need to be able to read surface thoughts. Those that aren't hidden deep within our minds, like knowing what someone is thinking about right now, how they feel about their day, or what they think of your new haircut. But there are much deeper levels of thoughts as well, memories, hopes, and dreams, everything that makes us who we are. If we could see all those thoughts too, the impact would be far greater, for better or for worse. Let's start with the positives. At first, the extrasensory level of communication would probably be pretty awkward. It would be hard to have private conversations because everyone around you is just going to be reading your mind, so you might try to hide your thoughts. But if you had a genuine smile on your face and your tone of voice was happy, everyone around you would probably know that you were lying. Honesty would become the best policy. You wouldn't have to worry about forgetting someone's birthday or an anniversary because you'd simply know when it was coming up. You might even know that someone is having second thoughts about your upcoming marriage. You'd also know what everyone wants for dinner, and so no more arguments about that. But you might also know that they want to poison you and steal your money. That could be a problem. But after some time, people might get used to others reading their minds. Lying might become impossible since everyone would be able to tell if you were being honest or not. So maybe society would become more honest and therefore more trustworthy. There would still be some liars, of course, but they would stick out like a sore thumb. And then there's the telepathic connection. We often say we know how our friends are feeling without them even telling us because we observe their body language and facial expressions. Well, if we could just read their minds, we would always know how they truly feel. We would always know if our friends are accepting of us or if they were plotting to kill us. We'd also be able to instantly share our experiences with others. No more trying to describe the taste of a fine meal or the beauty of a sunset. We could just share the experience directly. Someone who has never seen snow could instantly know what it feels like by connecting with someone who has. We could even read books by simply downloading the thoughts of someone who's already read them. Education would become instantaneous. The entire library of human knowledge would be available to everyone. By connecting our minds together, we would become a hive mind, a single consciousness with multiple perspectives. Some might call this the one-mind theory. It's the idea that everything in the universe is interconnected and we are all one. If we could just stop the endless chatter in our heads, we could realize our place in the greater whole. But that is all just the tip of the iceberg because there are many other levels to reading minds, things like memories. If you could read my mind, you'd be able to see every memory that I have ever stored in my brain. This includes memories of smells, sounds, tastes, emotions, and everything else. You'd meet my family and friends, and you'd feel the joy that I felt when I spent time with them. You would walk beside me through the gardens of my childhood home. You'd see my most prized possessions, the ones I hold most dear, and you would understand why. You would see the places I have been and the things I have done. And you would know exactly how I felt at every moment. If we could all do that, the connections between us would be instant and unbreakable. But you could also see all the bad stuff. My nightmares would become your nightmares. You'd see the worst moments of my life and the mistakes I've made, the times I've hurt others and the times I failed. You'd see all the ways I am broken. We might not want others to see that side of us, and that's just my simple little mind. Imagine the great minds of the world, the geniuses who have changed the world and will change the world. If we could see their minds, we would learn so much. We could find the secrets of the universe. We could download their knowledge into our own brains. Think of how much faster we would advance if we could do that. But the greatest minds are also the most complex. containing the most pain, the most memories, the most thoughts. Are we sure that we would want to see inside them? Imagine the trauma of it all. What if someone had a horrible childhood? What if they were abused or tortured? And what if they forgot that traumatic event and buried it deep in their subconscious? Then someone comes along and starts digging through their mind, uncovering the horrors that they've tried so hard to forget. They don't want to remember that. They don't want to feel that again. A person's mind is their safe space. It contains the most intimate details of their lives, the parts of themselves that they show only to those they trust the most. We spend years building that trust, carefully selecting the parts of ourselves that we reveal to others. If we could read minds, all of that would mean nothing. Your past would be laid bare before you. No privacy, no secrets, nothing to explore, nowhere to hide. That's why the ability to read minds could be devastating. Even worse, though, it could be deadly. If you could read my mind, you would know my secrets, the things that I'm ashamed of and the things I fear. And if you're a bad person, you could use that against me. You could blackmail me. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that you're a good person and you would never do something like that. But let's take the example of a serial killer. Let us say he reads your mind and finds out that you have a secret stash of weapons in your basement. He could also probably tell that you have a violent streak too, and that you enjoy torturing animals. He might not want to kill you. Instead, he might want to recruit you as an accomplice. Or let's say there's a war going on and two sides are fighting each other. The more you know about your enemy, the better, right? It would be helpful to read their minds to find out what their battle plans are, what their weaknesses are, and what their strengths are. Spies would be obsolete if we could all read minds. But there's another way that reading minds could cause massive devastation. Think of how many people you meet in your lifetime, thousands, hundreds of thousands. Many of those people you talk to regularly, your family, friends, and colleagues. Imagine the bandwidth required to process all of that information. Just thinking about it gives me a headache. If we could read surface thoughts, it would be overwhelming. There would be so much noise in your head, so many distractions. How could you concentrate on anything? In fact, you couldn't. You'd be so overloaded that you'd probably end up catatonic. There is a part of us that longs for connection. We want to understand others. We want to be understood. But what if understanding someone means seeing all of the darkness within them, the evil and the brokenness? We often admire people for their strength. We look at those who have overcome great obstacles and we marvel at their resilience. But what if we didn't want to see the obstacles that they had to overcome? What if we didn't want to see the scars that they carry within them? We may not want the gift of reading other people's minds. Maybe it's better to keep our thoughts to ourselves, to protect our own minds and to respect the minds of others. But if we did have that ability, would the world be a better or worse place? Do you want to know what everyone around you is thinking? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this.